Hello everybody, this is Sibbles and Bits, and we're back with InB4Blood, a series dedicated to discussion and discovery of Back 4 Blood in a post-beta, pre-launch state, and today we're here on FortHope.gg talking about Doc. FortHope.gg is a community-made deck building site that uses all the cards from Back 4 Blood so that you can get a look at what's in the game, what you can do, come up with some crazy builds. It is important to note that all the statistics shown in this site are alpha statistics. A lot of these cards have been changed, some of them quite significant in the beta, and some of them will probably be changed again once full release occurs. But it still enables us to look at the game and discuss Doc. Another important stipulation while we're talking about Doc is that she was not in the beta. So we're using napkin math and spreadsheets here to talk about a character that we have not had hands-on with, but we know how the game works, roughly, so we should be able to talk about her. Third thing to note, just because a character has a talent, a stat boost, and a team effect that may suggest that they fit into a specific role, all the power in this game comes from the fact that you get to choose any 15 cards, and this determines your role in the team. So don't feel like, say, you're playing Doc, that you have to be a medic. So we're going to start out by saying right off the bat that Doc is the character that I'm going to main, and obviously I saved the best for last, and oh, wait a minute. No, she's actually quite bad. Not bad. I would say that she's the worst character in the game mechanically, but she's still good. Kind of the same problem with Mom. People look at medics and they assume that they're going to achieve perfect play and they're not going to take damage, so why do they need a dedicated healer role? And that utopia of perfect play does exist to some people. And in that regard, healing characters have literally nothing to offer the team because you're theoretically not taking damage, and even when you do, it's not a lot. You don't really need to heal it. You could be instead choosing a character that focuses on offense and just clear through the content. Now you think that way, but go on to an MMO raid and tell people that you don't need healers. Damage is going to happen, and as such, you still do need medic classes. Now Doc has a special ability. We don't know exactly how it works, but it says that she can apply field dressings to each teammate once per level, healing them for 25 health. This is basically a small heal. 25 is actually a lot. At the start of the game, you have 100 health, and we don't know if her healing efficiency gets put into that, but we can almost assume it does because healing efficiency usually applies to anything that gives you health. Another thing to note is that she obviously can't heal herself, and this enables you. Hold up, can I actually even ammo mule? She can still spot heal the team despite you taking cards that disable support accessories entirely. So otherwise you wouldn't actually be able to heal anybody, but you get the benefit of still being able to do that. I don't know if that's necessarily good. You want to do combat medic Doc here, but it's a possibility. I believe there's one other card that's disable support accessories too, but again, if you go to support, it doesn't even show ammo mule in there. Again, search is kind of scuffed, but that's alright. So we're going to go back to heal, because obviously that's what we're looking at here, right? She gets a baseline 20% heal efficiency. In this game, whenever you're talking about adding a percentage, besides damage, it's always going to round up to the next integer. For instance, if we have, well, let's see if we can actually, wounded animal. Kills while at critical health recover 1 health. Critical health is under 40 health. The most important thing to note here is just by having 10% healing efficiency, this is actually going to heal you by 2. Now, I don't know why you would actually want to stay down at 2 health, but that's one thing to note. Another thing to note is that there is a thing in this game called temporary health, which basically is health that decays over time. Healing efficiency also applies to this health. So you're going to get an extra 1 temporary health from Face Your Fears whenever you kill a ridden within 2 meters. I don't know, maybe you're doing frontline doc? Again, you can do all sorts of crazy things in this game. Another thing that we're going to start discussing here that also goes into temporary health is trauma resistance. Trauma in this game, if you've played Vermintide, it's very similar to Curse in that game. I'm not 100% certain, but as I understand it, this is how trauma works. Anytime you take damage, you take damage. You're at full health, so you're going to lose, like, let's say 10 health. So now you have 10 health that can be healed. If you take another 10 damage, you now start taking trauma damage because that healable health is exposed. And it's going to take damage, I believe, to equal to the damage that you take to your health. So you're going to lose that 10 trauma from your max health now. You can't heal it back. And then you also lose 10 health from how much health you have. So now you're down to 80, you can heal up to 90. This is important with healing because you could take a heal for 250 health somehow. You're still only going to heal back up to 90. And the game is going to constantly whittle down at you until you get down to 40 health. At that point, you're in critical health. It's not going to reduce you any lower. Anytime that you get revived, you're going to have a maximum of 40 health. And at this point, you're very frail. So trauma resistance is resistance, obviously, to trauma damage. So in that scenario, you take 10 health at 100 health, you're down to 90 with 100 max. You take another 10 damage, you're at 80 health, but you saved 3 health, so now you have... I'm trying to math here. Oh dear lord. You're at 93. So now you're at 80 and 93, and you can heal even more health. Over time, this is going to add up and make it so that Doc can actually heal you and utilize that healing proficiency. Another thing to note is that you can boost this even further. And just like damage resistance, the more trauma resistance you have, the more effective this is going to be. Let's see if we can look into that actually. Trauma. Right here, 25% trauma resistance. She's basically giving this to the entire squad, and normally this would reduce your ammo capacity. This is a very powerful effect. And to get any more, you have to take like all these negative resistances and be weaker in other regards, or just take, 15 trauma resistance, a little bit of health. This is honestly still a good card. And so there's not a lot of trauma resistance in the game, at least again, as far as the search engine's picking up. So you want to protect, obviously, your maximum health because you don't want to be walking around with 40 health. We're going to go back to temporary health because when I stated how trauma worked, I specified that exposed healable health takes trauma damage. If you can cover that portion of your health with temporary health, you will not take trauma damage. And this is kind of the fallacy of Doc here. You're giving trauma resistance, healing efficiency for better heals, but if you just find a way to keep yourself full of temporary health, you'll never take trauma, and so you don't need to get back trauma. I also skipped over it. There is a way to heal trauma damage, increase your max health back to full. Health cabinets are spawned throughout the map. They allow you to heal a certain amount of trauma for the cost of money, which you'd prefer not to do, but you can do it. You will do it because it also heals you, gives you a life back. They're very helpful. You can also heal trauma with cards. Heal 10 trauma at the start of each level, which again is going to give you your max health back. Another way for you to heal trauma is that, not as of the beta, but it was confirmed by devs, that health kits were going to heal trauma, and so that's going to scale as you get higher quality health kits. Honestly, that's about all that you can talk about Doc, and we'll call it a day. That's all 8 characters that are in the base game for Back 4 Blood. Hopefully, when the game comes out and we learn more, I can get you some more information. Maybe these cards change and mess up everything. Maybe they change around characters. But until then, if you have any comments, clarifications, corrections, you can go ahead and put those in the comments below. Maybe you got some crazy doc builds that you're going to run. Go ahead, leave those down there as well. And until next time, you have a good one.